Okay, so we were at the premiere of Miss Representation, which your wife directed.
Very proud of her.
Tell me about, how long has she been at this?
It's been about 2 years, and it's an amazing process. It gives me a completely different perspective of what Sundance represents and what commitment is put into even doing a short film, let alone a long documentary like Jen did. It's an extraordinary thing. I mean, 2:30 in the morning, she's getting into bed after sitting there with her editor, who's spending the night in the house in the other bedroom to finish up, and I'm very proud. Very proud.
So she's a first-time filmmaker.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll never forget it. It will be indelible for the rest of my life. It was one of those nights where she submitted to Sundance. She had no idea if she'd get in, and she was feeling down and wasn't even feeling very well. And she was about to go to bed early, and all of a sudden I hear this giant scream in the other room. And I said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" She goes, and she's crying. I'm like, "My God, what happened?" And she said, "We got into Sundance." And that alone was an extraordinary validation for her, at least of the effort that went into this. And of course, here just an hour or so after we saw this premiered, and now to have this discussion with some legendary leaders in terms of gender equality, validating what was put on screen and validating the message and the importance of it is a pretty proud moment.
So she said that the story really stemmed, her intention to do this came from you guys having a child together and a daughter.
It was really the impetus, because she was never, this was an important topic for her always, and it was for me. I mean, I'm very proud of this stuff, and not to be political here, but I remember showing her a new logo that our Recreation and Parks Department did of a kid swinging on a swing, and I brought it home and I said, "Guess what I did?" And I put the little ponytail on the kid, and I said, "We just changed it because you sensitized me to these gender issues." I said, "In a million years I wouldn't have thought about that." And the logo folks said, "This is the logo we're going with, just to start thinking differently about gender equality in a symbolic way." And then we did the first gender analysis of our budget and seeing where the money went. And historically, it's gone to young boys and men, and not to young girls and women. And so I always had that bent. She had that bent, but it was really the birth of our daughter, Montana, and all the emotions for her of reconnecting to her past, which she put in this film, where she lost her older sister when she was very young, and the intensity of that, and then having to sort of make up for that loss in her parents' eyes, and trying to be Superwoman and dealing with the media and portrayals and her own self-body images and all of that, and how it impacted her. And to see all that on screen, and to be with her parents, they had never seen any of that footage, is a pretty special thing.
That's cool. So did going through this experience make you reflect more upon the role of women in government?
So everything I see now, and I mean, and I'm not being myopic necessarily, or just because I'm the spouse of the filmmaker. I always had it, raised up by a single mother and my sister and 2 strong aunts, so I always had that bent. But now I really am intense about this issue. And when you consider the fact we're 90th in the world, people really have to think through that. The United States, we think we've come so far with Nancy Pelosi and Sarah Palin and Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Dole and all these folks, Feinstein and Boxer in California. But we're 90th in the world in women in legislative positions. And when you have Afghanistan and Iraq, think about that. Afghanistan and Iraq have more women in leadership positions than the United States, as does Cuba and Rwanda. I hope it has people to think and pause. So I see it from a political frame, but now with Jen's film, from the media perspective, the boards with so few women on it, directors with so few women, producers so few women, let alone protagonists in films, that if they're protagonists tend to be, as we learned, sex objects, not necessarily heroes and heroines in the way that a lot of men are portrayed.
So you get to go back, you get a little more time off work? How much time you get to spend at Sundance?
I get Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, back to work Monday morning.
There you go. Thank you so much.